In the quiet town of Shelby, North Carolina, a new year once dawned with the promise of fresh starts, as it does for so many across America. But for one family, January 1st became a day forever etched in the chilling grip of fear, a date that marks not a beginning, but an enduring, agonizing mystery. It was on this cold, dark, and rainy New Year's Day that a child vanished without a scream, without a trace, leaving behind a void that 2 decades of searching have failed to fill. Imagine, if you will, the serene hours just before dawn on January 1, 2000. The world was abuzz with Y2K anxieties, but in the Degree household, a different kind of quiet settled over the sleeping family. 9-year-old Asha Degree, a bright and loving girl, was tucked into her bed, or so her parents believed. Yet sometime between the deep hours of the night and the first hint of morning light, Asha made a decision that would plunge her family, and indeed an entire community, into a nightmare from which they have yet to awaken. She quietly left her home, stepping out into the frigid, rain-soaked darkness, leaving behind the warmth and safety of her bed, her sleeping parents completely unaware. Her departure was a ghost in the night, unwitnessed by those closest to her. No one saw her slip out the door, no one heard her footsteps fade into the silence of the early morning. It was a secret journey initiated by a child, a perplexing act that defied all logic and fueled the desperate questions that would echo for years to come. What compelled a 9-year-old to leave her home in such conditions? What was she thinking? Where was she going? These are the questions that continue to torment her family and baffle investigators. As the sun reluctantly began to paint the eastern sky, painting the world in shades of gray and muted dawn, the first unsettling whispers of Asha's presence began to emerge. Witnesses, awake earlier than most, reported seeing a small child walking alone along a desolate highway before sunrise. The sheer vulnerability of this image is enough to send a shiver down one's spine. A little girl, braving the elements, purposefully walking alongside a road usually reserved for cars, not solitary pedestrians, especially not those so young. Drivers, their instincts screaming alarm, attempted to intervene. They slowed, they stopped, they called out, their hearts heavy with concern for the child's safety. But instead of seeking help, instead of relief at the sight of a caring adult, Asha's reaction was terrifyingly unexpected. She ran. She bolted from the highway, disappearing into the dense, rain-slicked woods that lined the road. And then, as quickly as she had appeared, she was gone. Swallowed by the trees, absorbed by the darkness, she vanished into the wilderness, leaving behind only the chilling accounts of concerned strangers and a deepening sense of dread. The initial hours after Asha's disappearance were a whirlwind of frantic searching. Her parents, Aquila and Harold Degree, awoke to discover their daughter missing. The disbelief, the panic, the dawning horror must have been an unbearable weight. The alarm was raised, and soon the small community of Shelby mobilized. Police, volunteers, friends, and neighbors scoured the area, their calls for Asha swallowed by the vastness of the woods. Dogs were brought in, their keen noses tracing faint scents, but even they struggled against the rain that had washed away so much. The immediate search yielded nothing. It was as if Asha had simply dissolved into the mist. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. The initial hope that she had simply wandered off and would soon be found began to wane, replaced by a gnawing despair. The community remained vigilant, displaying flyers with Asha's smiling face, her bright eyes now seeming to plead for her return. But leads were scarce, and the trail grew colder with each passing day. The mystery deepened, casting a long, dark shadow over Shelby. Then, more than a year and a half after her disappearance, a breakthrough, albeit a grim one, occurred. On August 3, 2001, almost 19 months after Asha vanished, a construction worker performing an excavation for a new highway project in Burke County, North Carolina, made a horrifying discovery. Approximately 26 miles north of Asha's home, carefully wrapped in plastic bags and buried, was a backpack. It was Asha's backpack. The discovery sent a fresh wave of shock and grief through the community. While it offered a tangible piece of Asha's story, it also opened a Pandora's box of new questions and intensified the existing agony. Why was her backpack so far from home? Who wrapped it in plastic? Who buried it? And most chillingly, where was Asha? The contents of the backpack were equally perplexing. Along with some of Asha's own items, there were also clothes that did not belong to her. A Dr. Seuss Cat in the Hat t-shirt and a pair of white gym shoes, both belonging to a male child, were found inside. This detail further complicated the investigation. Were these items planted? Were they a clue? Did Asha take them with her, or were they placed there by someone else? The presence of these foreign objects suggested a deliberate act, a calculated effort to conceal or confuse, rather than a simple case of a child getting lost. The discovery of the backpack, instead of providing closure, only deepened the enigma surrounding Asha's disappearance. It pointed to the possibility that she had not simply run away, or that if she did, she encountered someone who wished her harm. The careful wrapping and burial suggested a deliberate attempt to hide evidence, to erase a trace. The small, rural town of Shelby, once known for its charm and quiet way of life, was now synonymous with a child's inexplicable vanishing. Investigators, though invigorated by the new evidence, found themselves facing an increasingly complex puzzle. They re-interviewed witnesses, re-examined theories, and followed countless leads. Every detail, every whisper, every possibility was scrutinized. Was it an abduction? Was it someone known to Asha? Was it a stranger? The questions multiplied, each more agonizing than the last, as the years continued to tick by. The theories surrounding Asha's disappearance are as varied as they are heartbreaking. Some believe she was abducted by someone she knew, a predator who exploited her innocence and trust. Others wonder if she was running away from something, a fear or an issue within her young life that compelled her to flee. The idea that she might have been lured away by a stranger or that she encountered a malicious individual during her solitary walk is also a terrifying possibility that has been explored. The presence of the non-Asha items in her backpack has led to speculation about a potential accomplice, or at least someone who had contact with her and her belongings. Could the owner of the clothes provide a crucial link? Despite extensive efforts to identify the owner of the Cat in the Hat shirt and the gym shoes, no definitive connection has ever been established. This small detail, seemingly insignificant to an outsider, holds immense weight for investigators, a potential key to unlocking the truth. Over the 2 decades since her disappearance, Asha Degree's case has remained active.
The FBI, local law enforcement, and dedicated cold case units have continued to work tirelessly, holding on to the hope that new technology, new information, or a change of conscience will finally bring Asha home, or at least provide answers to her family. Her case has been featured on national television programs, true crime podcasts, and documentaries, each platform serving as a renewed plea for information, a fresh call for anyone with knowledge, no matter how small, to come forward. The impact on the Degree family has been, as one can imagine, devastating. Every New Year's Day, a time for celebration and new beginnings for most, becomes a stark reminder of their profound loss and the day their world changed forever. Her parents, Aquila and Harold, have never given up hope. They have lived with an unimaginable burden of grief, regret, and unanswered questions. Their daughter's bedroom remains largely untouched, a shrine to the little girl they miss so dearly, filled with the echoes of a life abruptly interrupted. They speak of Asha with love and longing, their memories vivid, their hope unwavering, even as the years stretch into decades. Asha would be an adult now, a woman in her early 30s, perhaps with a family of her own, pursuing her dreams.
The loss is not just of a child, but of a lifetime of experiences, milestones, and moments that were stolen. Her story is a stark reminder of the fragile innocence of childhood and the enduring pain that accompanies an unsolved mystery. The story of Asha Degree is not just a local tragedy. It has resonated across the nation, becoming one of America's most perplexing and heartbreaking missing persons cases. It serves as a haunting testament to the shadows that can sometimes fall upon even the safest communities and the enduring resilience of a family determined to find the truth. The questions persist. What happened to Asha Degree on that cold, rainy New Year's Day morning? Who saw her? Who helped her? Or who harmed her? Was she a runaway who encountered unimaginable danger, or was her departure part of a more sinister plot? The answers lie out there, somewhere, waiting to be discovered. The Shelby community has never forgotten Asha. Her memory is kept alive through vigils, awareness campaigns, and the relentless efforts of those who refuse to let her case fade into obscurity. Her face, still that of a 9-year-old girl with bright, inquisitive eyes, remains a symbol of hope and a plea for justice. If you have any information, no matter how insignificant it may seem, regarding the disappearance of Asha Degree, please contact the Shelby Police Department at 704-484-6845 or the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. Your tip could be the missing piece that finally brings resolution to this enduring mystery. The case of Asha Degree is a somber reminder that some mysteries refuse to disappear, their echoes reverberating through time, demanding answers. It is a story that compels us to look closer, to listen harder, and to never give up on the search for truth, especially when a child's life hangs in the balance. The full history of this perplexing case and many other real American mysteries that refuse to disappear awaits you. We delve into the depths of these stories, seeking to shed light on the darkness and honor the memories of those affected. If you found this exploration of Asha Degree's story compelling and you wish to hear more real American mysteries that refuse to disappear, be sure to subscribe to American Mystery Vault. Join our community as we uncover the true stories that have captivated and confounded the nation, bringing you factual, in-depth accounts of cases that demand our attention. Your support helps us continue to bring these important stories to light.